Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Erin, your high performance business coach and the success psychologist. Welcome to week 4 of your academy. We are going to be ending our discussions on high performance productivity today with my very favorite principle, strategy. This strategy has single-handedly been the key to my success in business. Single-handedly. If I could only choose one business strategy, this is the one I would want to teach you. This is the one I would want you to lean in and really utilize in your business and just watch your success just go straight up. Now, it's called the law of compounded effort. And that name might be new to you, but it certainly is not a principle that is new in your life. So what the law of compounded effort is and says is very simple. It's a little bit every day goes a long way. It's this idea that any success we have is a culmination of small steps taken over time to reach a result that in the end looks pretty fantastic and is fantastic. But if you look at any major success, it is always, especially in business, a result of small decisions done over time, over a long enough period of time. So I want you to think about a goal that you've achieved. That might be in your business, it might be in your personal life, and really think about, did that goal happen overnight? Did that goal or success happen as a result of one behavior? And I would guarantee and bet that 99.99999% of the time, the answer would be no, right? So maybe you've ventured to lose weight, compounded effort, because you cannot lose weight in one single meal. You cannot, gain 20 pounds in one single meal, but decisions of the food you eat over enough period of time add up to different results, right? So that's the law of compounded effort. When I went and got my doctorate to College of Advanced Training, higher education, that doesn't happen overnight, right? It's the law of compounded effort. And it's this ability to say, these behaviors are going to add up to a pretty awesome result, which is earning a doctorate. And so I knew that every class I took, every test I studied for would either serve me or not. And so really, having the ability to look out ahead in time and see a goal that we have and being willing to reverse engineer and say, what are the small behaviors that I need to do enough times over a long enough period of time that will help me reach my goal? That's the crucial question to be asking ourselves in our businesses. So basically, again, the law of compounded effort says a little progress each day adds up to big results. Again, just like that, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's the analogy for health, right? Well, in our business, a little bit of progress every day adds up to big results. So John Maxwell, the leading leadership coach and thought leader in the world, says you'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. So the first thing I want to say about the law of compounded effort is, whenever you achieve a great milestone in your business, it's very special. It's a big celebration. It can get a lot of accolades. It is kind of glamorous, so to speak. But I want you to realize and accept, fully and radically accept, that the small behaviors, the small decisions, the small habits aren't that glamorous. They aren't that sexy, if I can say that, right? The result, those mountaintop experiences, earning an award or closing a high-end client, is usually the result of lots of little moves along the way. And if you can really fall in love with that process and have total and complete faith that it will work for you, which it will. If you work it, it will work for you. Then your success is like 99.99999% guaranteed. Okay? So there is a really great book, and I usually read out of it whenever I present, and it's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and it talks about this law of compounded effort, and the way he describes it is so genius. He says that those small, simple things that lead to success are actually easy to do, but the problem is they're also easy not to do. Let's take the weight loss example. It is easy to eat a carrot instead of an Oreo. It is easy to eat an Oreo instead of a carrot. Now, if we eat unhealthy one time, that does not make us unhealthy. It does not make us overweight. But if we eat unhealthy enough times over a long enough period of time, we're going to have massively different results than if we eat healthy enough times over a long enough period of time. So when I was transforming my physical body and preparing to train and compete in a fitness competition, I really leaned into the law of compounded effort, because my brain and your brain often tells us lies about this law of compounded effort. And it says things like, oh, it doesn't really matter, just this one time, or I just won't go on Facebook Live today, it's fine. Or, no, it doesn't really matter if I miss one post. Like, it tells us these lies that, again, over enough times, over a long enough period of time, is going to really influence the results we get. So in your business, if you want to think of an example of perhaps I want to increase my visibility on social media, doing one post is easy to do. And the problem is, it's also easy not to do. But a post a day over time is going to lead to great visibility and influence. And missing a post every day over time is going to lead to changes in your visibility, right? So Brendon Burchard, one of my mentors, he shared with us that for 6 years, he posted 4 times a day on social media. I don't know which platform he was using, and the algorithms were probably different back then, but I'm fascinated with this idea, right? He posted 4 times a day for 6 years. And guess what? He got some results. He got some increased visibility. He got some increased influence. So don't believe the lie that your head tells you that it doesn't matter. Okay? Really lean into the law of the slight edge is always working, and it's always working for you, and it's always working against you, but you get to choose which direction you want it to work in. So small decisions that sometimes seem seemingly irrelevant or insignificant over time add up to massive success, and they can lead to massive failure. Okay? So I want you to think about how you can apply this in your business. So let's take a couple things. I'll give you an example from my life and my business development, and then you can apply this to your business and your life. So one of the things I knew when I started out a couple years ago in my coaching business was I wanted to grow my influence. I wanted to grow my leadership. I wanted to grow my visibility, recognizability, right? Recognition. I don't know if recognizability is a word. My recognition. And so I knew that to have leadership and influence, I had to connect. Leadership and influence is all about connecting with people. And I knew that if I did that over a long enough period of time with enough people and connected with enough people, things would change for me. My business would look different. People would know me. I would know them. They would connect me with people that I wanted to be connected with. I knew the power of connection in growing my business. And I look back on my first year in business and I went on 213 coffee dates. 213, that's a lot. Now, at each coffee date, I didn't necessarily blow up my business and totally expand and close a deal or close a sale, right? But I knew the law of compounded effort was working for me because I know that it works for all of us. And I knew that if I did those coffee dates over a long enough period of time, it would add up to a lot of influence. Okay, so if you want to have influence, if you want to increase your network, think about how you can do that over a long enough period of time. What can you do to increase that? Another way you could increase your connection and influence would be to connect with 1 or 2 people every day on social media. That would be another way to grow your influence, right? And your connection, your network. Think about it. Over a year, that would be 365 to 730 different connections. You know your business is going to be different if you've connected with 733 people, over a year, for example, right? Another example, one of the things I did, I wanted to increase my visibility on social media. I have been on social media now for about 4 years and primarily on Facebook. And I knew that the law of compounded effort works for us on social media. And so I leaned into posting every day. And so I'm 4 years in, and now I have 4,200 and some friends. That doesn't happen overnight. But I have trained and conditioned my brain to know that the law of compounded effort is working. Again, not every post it closes into a sale, but I will tell my brain, and I want you to do this too. I tell my brain when I'm posting, look at me growing my empire with 1 post, because I know what I know about the law of compounded effort. Okay. So where can you increase your visibility and lean into consistency over time? Consistency over time is your best friend in business. Another thing that you want to develop as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, is personal and professional development. And the law of compounded effort can work here too. If you realize that if you read a personal professional development book 15 minutes every day, that comes to about 1 book a month, which turns into, you would read 12 books every year. Now that sounds pretty great, right? You could dial that up and double it. 30 minutes of reading would be 24 books in a year. You think you're not going to be different after 24 books of personal and professional development? Of course you're going to be different. So I've been in this game of reading and consuming this kind of information for, probably 10, 15 years. And it changes you, right? What if you listen to 1 podcast every day, 30-minute podcast every day? You would change. Your business would change. Your success would change. Again, it's inevitable. Another area you could apply this to would be sales. Can you imagine talking to 1 to 2 people every single day and sharing the opportunity of your business? At minimum, that would be 365 sales conversations. You better believe your business would change if you had 365 sales conversations. So I want you to think about, what are the 1 to 2 things you can do every day that you know strategically will move that needle in your business, and lean in to the law of compounded effort. So when you have a picture of yourself in a string bikini, you got to find a way to put it in the PowerPoint. I always say that, but this is what I want you to know, that discipline is like a muscle, and having success in your business requires the discipline of doing the daily habits and those success routines that we talked about in the last video. But here's the great thing. You're going to be rewarded for doing so. Discipline then becomes the norm because you're strengthening that muscle. You're actually strengthening that muscle, so to speak. You become a disciplined person. And when something is strengthened, another way to think about it is it's easier. It's more effortless. Now, who here wouldn't love to be more effortlessly disciplined? Who wouldn't want to be more disciplined in their business and have that kind of come easier, more easily, right? You all want that. So please know and lean in again to knowing the law of the slight edge is always going to work for you. You know, it took 10.5 months to do that physical transformation and get on stage. And ultimately, I did end up winning a trophy. And the trophy sits on my shelf right here in my house. But I know that it took small, seemingly insignificant decisions repeatedly to get the result that I wanted. And I knew that. And so because I knew that, I kept fighting the good fight, so to speak, right? I did not believe the lie in my head that said it doesn't matter. And last, I want to share with you this concept that we know from brain science, that practice actually makes patterns. So we've heard practice makes perfect, and practice makes patterns. And what we know from brain research is the more that you practice a behavior, a success habit, being courageous in your business, increasing your visibility, sharing what you do with others, having sales conversations, the myelin, which is the white stuff that covers the axons and the dendrites in our brain, becomes thicker. And when the myelin becomes thicker and those neural pathways get coated in the myelin, the signals go faster. And it's almost like it creates grooves in your brain that are like super highways, that all of a sudden you are now this disciplined person. You are now this courageous business owner, and it changes your brain. So isn't that the most exciting research? So just know that your brain is going to physiologically reward your discipline. It's not always going to be as difficult as it has always been. It's going to get easier, and easy is not sleazy, my friends, when we're talking about discipline and success habits. Easy means mastery when we're talking about it in that context. So please think about, where can I practice the law of compounded effort for the next, at least think 6 months to a year in my business, and really just commit and decide that this principle has a promise behind it, because all principles have promises behind them. This principle has a promise behind that that says I will go in the right direction if I sign up for the law of compounded effort in my business. I want that for you. You deserve the results that come from disciplining yourself. It's the most wonderful business strategy that has ever come my way. And like I said, I could train on this every day. If there was one skill that I could share, one law that I could share, one principle that I knew would work for all of you, it would be this, the law of compounded effort. Please share with us over in Compounded Effort, and I cannot wait to see your success trajectory go in the direction that you want it to. So I will see you on the next video, and get amped. It's your time. It's time to step into your greatness. It's time to step into the power of the law of compounded effort. Thank you so much. See you next time.